Welcome, one and all. Here we are in Enoch. We're starting here in chapter 24. A lot of this is the same subjects that we've been going over in these. So, with no further delay, here we go into chapter 24. And from thence I went to another place of the earth, and he shewed me a mountain range of fire which burnt day and night. And I went beyond it and saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing each from the other, and the stones thereof were magnificent and beautiful, magnificent as a whole, of glorious appearance and fair exterior. 3 towards the east, 1 founded on the other, and 3 towards the south, 1 upon the other, and deep, rough ravines, no one of which joined with any other. Okay, now remember this, the 7 mountains, and many of the towns try to, like Jerusalem says there, the city of 7 hills, and so does Rome, and other places do too, and all of that is over this glorious mountain range here. So we know that those aren't real, but this is real. In other words, Jerusalem isn't some holy place, okay? It will be holy when God comes to earth with his throne in the New Jerusalem, okay? And the 7th mountain was in the midst of these, and it excelled them in height, resembling the seat of a throne, and fragrant trees encircled the throne. Notice those trees, okay? And I go right back to the glorious trees on each side of the river of life, okay? That's in Ezekiel specifically. And these trees are very interesting, and what a blessing they are. And notice this 7th mountain is what? Mount Zion, isn't it? Okay, on we go here. And among them was a tree which I had never yet smelt, neither was any amongst them, nor were others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all fragrance, and its leaves and blooms and wood wither not forever. And its fruit is beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Okay, so this is the glorious Mount Zion, and look at that tree. Could that be the tree of life, folks? What do you think? 5, then I said, how beautiful is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms very delightful in appearance. 6, then answered Michael, one of the holy and honored angels who was with me, and was their leader. And 25, we go on in a new chapter. And he said unto me, Enoch, why dost thou ask me regarding the fragrance of the tree? And why dost thou wish to learn the truth? Again, the truth, folks. Now, this man was blessed above any of his time, and notice how he loves the truth. And 2, it says, then I answered him, saying, I wish to know about everything, but especially about this tree. And he answered me, saying, this is Michael, the archangel, this high mountain which thou hast seen whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne, where the Holy Great One, the Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit, and he will come down to visit the earth with goodness. There is Mount Zion, folks. And on we go. In 4 it says, and as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all and bring everything to its consummation forever. It shall then be given to the righteous and holy. The tree of life, folks, there it is. 5. Its fruit shall be for food to the elect. It shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. Then shall they rejoice with joy and be glad, and into the holy place shall they enter. And its fragrance shall be in their bones, and they shall live a long life on earth, such as thy fathers lived. And in their days shall no sorrow or plague or torment or calamity touch them. Then blessed I the God of glory, the eternal King, that's Christ, who hath prepared such things for the righteous, and hath created them, and promised to give to them. How about this? For a look at the world tomorrow for us. All right, so with that in mind, 26, and I went from thence to the middle of the earth, and I saw a blessed place in which there were trees with branches abiding and blooming of a dismembered tree. Okay, notice the middle of the earth. That is the sides of the north in the real map of the earth. And on we go into, and it says, and there I saw a holy mountain, and underneath the mountain to the east there was a stream, and it flowed towards the south. Okay, we're going to get to these rivers here. And I saw towards the east another mountain higher than this, and between them a deep and narrow ravine. In it also ran a stream underneath the mountain. And to the west thereof there was another mountain, lower than the former, and of small elevation, and a ravine deep and dry between them. And another deep and dry ravine was at the extremities of the 3 mountains. And all the ravines were deep and narrow, being formed of hard rock, and trees were not planted upon them. And I marveled at the rocks, and I marveled at the ravines. Yea, I marveled very much. On we go in 27. Then said I, for what object is this blessed land, which is entirely filled with trees, and this accursed valley between? Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, this accursed valley is for those who are accursed, for those who are accursed forever. There shall all the accursed be gathered together, who utter with their lips against the Lord unseemly words, and of his glory speak hard things. And here shall they be gathered together, and here shall be their place of judgment. In the last days there shall be upon them the spectacle of righteous judgment in the presence of the righteous forever. Here shall the merciful bless the Lord of glory, the eternal King. That's Christ again. In the days of judgment over the former, they shall bless him for the mercy in accordance with which he has assigned them their lot. Okay, then I blessed the Lord of glory and set forth his glory and lauded him gloriously. 28, it still goes on. And thence I went towards the east, and in the midst of the mountain range of the desert, and I saw a wilderness, and it was solitary, full of trees and plants. And water gushed forth from above, rushing like a copious watercourse, which flowed towards the northeast. It caused rushing like a copious watercourse, which flowed towards the northwest. It caused clouds and dew to ascend on every side. And thence, in 29, I went to another place in the desert, and approached to the east of this mountain range, and there I saw aromatic trees exhaling the fragrance of frankincense and myrrh, and the trees also were similar to the almond tree. How do we like this, folks? And beyond these I went afar to the east, and I saw another place, a valley full of water, and therein there was a tree, the color, and there's a big question mark here, so the translator, R.H. Charles, did not put a word in here, just a big question mark. The color, whatever, of fragrant trees such as the mastic. And on the sides of those valleys I saw fragrant cinnamon, and beyond these I proceeded to the east. Okay, now we're going to get to a couple points here. One, earlier on we're talking about the great abyss. We're talking about people that are, both of them have passed on. One is on one side of Sheol, the other is on the negative side, the bad side. They're being judged. Does that harmonize with your Bible, folks? That's the question. So, with that in mind, I want to go to Luke and see what Christ said about the afterlife here. So, if you go to Luke and you go to chapter 16, and I'm going to read 22 through 26, and this is over two people that fell away. They passed on. One was the beggar who suffered greatly. The other was the rich man. Okay, now look at this afterlife. Okay, and see if this don't harmonize with what we've read here. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. So Lazarus is what? The poor man, the beggar. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. Okay. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime received thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. Okay, now in 26, this is the abyss that Christ is describing here, and we just saw it here earlier in these earlier chapters. And besides all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass us that would come from thence. So how about that? Now, what about these trees? Are these trees in paradise? Are they going to be there in the New Jerusalem temple? Well, I'm sure you all know that. I'm sure you all know about the living waters. And they are, as we did Ezekiel, we finished with the living waters. And it describes the waters here in paradise. Okay, so with that in mind, you go to 47 in Ezekiel, as we're describing, really going over and over the New Jerusalem and measuring it and talking about it over and over and over. Just so much of it, it's almost monotonous. But there's a very interesting thing here in chapter 47, and that's these holy waters and trees. So listen to this, how this harmonizes with what we just studied there in Enoch. All right. So he's being transported around just like Enoch was. Afterward he brought me again unto the door of the house, and behold, waters issued out from under the threshold of the house eastward. For the forefront of the house stood toward the east, and that's towards the direction that Christ will come, east to west, clockwise. And the waters came down from under, from the right side of the house, at the south side of the altar. Then brought he me out of the way of the gate northward, and led me about the way without unto the outer gate, by the way that looketh eastward. And behold, there ran out waters on the right side. In 3, and when the man that had the line in his hand, that's the plumb line, measuring line, went forth eastward, he measured 1,000 cubits, and he brought me through the waters. The waters were to the ankles. Okay, this is the healing river here with the New Jerusalem. In 4, again he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters. The waters were to the knees. Again he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters, were to the loins. 5, afterward he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not pass over, for the waters were risen, waters to swim in, a river that could not be passed over. And we get a new paragraph mark in 6. And he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen this? Question mark. Then he brought me and caused me to return to the brink of the river. Now when I had returned, behold, at the bank of the river were very many trees on the one side and on the other. In 8, then said he unto me, These waters issue out toward the east country and go down into the desert. Didn't we just study this? And go into the sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the waters shall be healed. 9, and it shall come to pass that everything that liveth, which moveth, whithersoever the river shall come, shall live. and there shall be a very great multitude of fish, because these waters shall come thither, for they shall be healed, and everything shall live whither the river cometh. And it shall come to pass that the fishers shall stand upon it from Engadi even unto Eglam. They shall be a place to spread forth nets. Their fish shall be according to their kinds, as the fish of the great sea, exceeding many. But the miry places thereof and the marshes thereof shall not be healed, they shall be given to salt. And by the river upon the bank thereof, this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months, because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary, and the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine. Okay, so I just wanted to get into the temple, the New Jerusalem temple, and these waters and these trees. Okay, and even the tree of life is here. Okay, in all this. But I won't go on reading. We have this up on the, if you scroll back to Ezekiel, you can do all Ezekiel there. And I end right here with these rivers, these healing waters and rivers there in 47. Okay. All right, so we're going to get this up to everybody, and we'll be starting right back on Monday in this. Tomorrow we're going to expose the rapture lie. It's an easy one. Plenty of proof of that. There's no end to the proof against the rapture lie. Okay? So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. The podcast will be up, or you can call in, either one. Thank every one of you for studying. I hope you're getting a lot here, as we are from the table here. All the table people are really enjoying it. So, with that, from Harriet Benzie and myself, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.